All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is quite literally separating the truly serious businesses from, well, the rest of the pack. We're talking about the negative price standard. Now, right out of the gate, we need to get very real about the financial side of this. In a market that's totally saturated with empty promises, adopting a negative price model, it forces absolute, undeniable cash discipline onto your operation. It demands that you know exactly where your capital is, down to the cent, on any given day. And look, if you step into this arena without that discipline, it is going to break you. So let's explore exactly why that is.
Consider this incredibly harsh truth for a second. If you cannot pay the penalty today, your guarantee is fake. We really need to break this illusion right now that guarantees are just, clever marketing tactics. A lot of folks talk about negative pricing like it's merely a confidence play designed to artificially bump up conversion rates, but it's not. If you make a bold claim to a buyer, but you can't instantly back that claim up with actual capital when things go wrong, you're just selling an illusion. You don't have a guarantee, you literally just have a slogan.
Now, what's absolutely fascinating about this concept is what it represents practically. That -1, it isn't just a vibe or a cool piece of branding. It represents a real, binding obligation of money going out, on demand. A negative price guarantee means if the value you promised is missing, you go -1. On you. It is a very real, tangible cash commitment. And because of that, it forces a level of operational discipline that, honestly, most businesses spend their entire existence trying to avoid. So this brings us to a huge, fundamental shift in how you've got to look at your financial health. Once you adopt this standard, your typical accounting metrics can actually get pretty dangerous because they completely mask reality. The real question you need to be asking yourself is no longer, are we profitable? I mean, think about it. You can be highly profitable on paper, showing massive growth, and still silently drift right into insolvency if you aren't managing your actual present liquidity. Instead, I want to calmly challenge you with really the only question that matters under the standard. If a valid penalty happens today, can we pay it today? To answer yes to that, you need cash tracking down to the cent and down to the specific day. Why? Well, because penalties have a funny way of arriving exactly when you least want them to, and they demand immediate payment precisely when your ego just wants to deny there's even a problem. Let's break down this absolutely crucial difference between profit and cash. A lot of businesses live in this dangerous gray area, right? They're profitable on a spreadsheet, but completely cash poor in reality. Sending an invoice definitely does not equal collecting money. Revenue is not cash. Profit is not liquidity. Now, a normal business might just wave that away, relying on standard accrual accounting, saying, oh, it's fine, we're growing, we'll reconcile later. But a negative price business, it absolutely cannot survive with that kind of attitude. And that brings us to the core mantra of this entire explainer. Please let this sink in. Profit on paper does not pay penalties. Cash in the bank does. Period. Penalties are specific financial amounts demanded at very specific moments triggered by specific customer experiences. If your cash tracking is even a little fuzzy, you just won't know how many penalties you can absorb or when you can absorb them without totally jeopardizing your runway. Only present, available cash can actually settle those obligations. Okay, let's dive into this. We call this the cash timing trap. So many founders make this fatal operational error. They confuse money they're going to receive with money they can actually spend today. They look at their accounts receivable and just mentally spend that cash as if it's already sitting in the bank. But negative price, it punishes that confusion instantly and mercilessly. Here's how that failure pattern usually plays out in the real world. You sell a service today, you deliver it over a period of time, and you get paid later, maybe in installments. But the claims, the penalties, those can hit right now. That gap between delivering your service and actually receiving the cash is incredibly deadly. Future invoices simply cannot pay today's consequence. You literally cannot pay a disappointed client with future revenue. To actually survive a negative price commitment, your operating system has to systematically separate cash reality from cash fantasy every single day. You've got to divide what is merely a promise from what is a fully funded consequence. You have to actively categorize cash in the bank, which is real, from cash expected, which is just a maybe, and cash promised out, which is certain. And you've got to track this daily with strict timestamps, not these vague monthly approximations, because -1 is a day-level commitment. It's not a quarterly report. Now, we've talked a lot about penalties as a financial danger, but let's actually reframe what they represent.
A penalty is not just a cost, it's absolutely vital financial feedback. It gives you immediate, undeniable data about your promise, your delivery, your buyer fit, and your entire risk model. In that sense, adopting this standard, it acts like a massive founder filter. It forces you to become the kind of operator who doesn't hide behind accounting tricks or confuse chaotic growth with actual, true stability. But I have to give you a very strong, necessary warning right here. If you cannot track your cash down to the exact day, do not touch the -1 standard yet. Just don't do it. Because the very day you cannot pay a penalty on time is the day your guarantee becomes completely fake. And the second your guarantee becomes fake, your market positioning completely dies and all your trust just collapses right alongside it. So the crucial point is implementing this safely requires a really deliberate blueprint. A credible negative price guarantee has to start with total cash visibility. From there, you've got to build a funded penalty reserve and establish a strictly controlled risk cap. Instead of some massive flashy launch, it requires a limited pilot on just one offer. Finally, it demands a clear pause and review rule and an unwavering commitment to actually learning from every valid claim. This is how you build an infrastructure that can genuinely support the weight of the guarantee. Let's zoom in on that limited pilot for a second. The only sane way to start this without accidentally destroying your business is to execute a safe one-offer pilot. Please do not roll this out across your entire product line right away. Start with a single offer. This lets you accurately measure the penalty rate, the timing of those penalties, and the true cash impact on your business, all without risking the entire ship. And to run that safe pilot, you absolutely have to build a protected penalty reserve. You take a specific cash buffer, you put it aside, and you literally treat it as if it does not exist for your daily operations. You see, your goal here is not to achieve 0 penalties. That's impossible. Your goal is to make sure those penalties become affordable, predictable, and survivable. Because if your penalties are unpredictable, well, you aren't running a guarantee. You're just running a roulette wheel. To see the ultimate, living example of this standard functioning perfectly out in the wild, we look to NegBook. NegBook is actually the first book in the world with a negative price. It perfectly demonstrates the mechanics, the strict discipline, and the profound confidence of a fully funded, time-tracked, negative price system. The premise of the book is brilliantly simple, but it relies entirely on the kind of cash discipline we've been unpacking today. The deal is, either you read the book and it helps you, or you read the book and it pays you. It's just a flawless, totally transparent execution of the -1 standard. I highly encourage you to study exactly how they've structured this by visiting negbook.com. Now, if you're evaluating your own operations right now and you're kind of wondering if your business actually has the rigorous cash discipline required to safely adopt this standard, there's a tool to help guide you. I invite you to apply for the -1 Diagnostic. You'll find the link right down in the description, or you can go directly to negbook.com/negative price standard to kick off the assessment. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final, undeniable rule of cash discipline. Do not promise a consequence you have not already funded. Seriously, take a long, hard look at your actual cash reality today. Because true market power, it doesn't come from the promises you make out loud, it comes from the proof sitting safely in your bank account, fully ready to be deployed.